So, the Mark of Athena, the third book in the Heroes of Olympus series, which is sort of like a Percy Jackson subsidiary series, I guess, in the Percy Jackson universe. This book is really, really good. This book is, I think, probably just a straight improvement over the previous two in the series. And sort of maybe up there with the level of some of like the better but not the best Percy Jackson books that are like at the level of maybe Battle of a Labyrinth or something. It's a really, really solid entry, and like I said, a lot of these reviews, I'm just going to sort of point you back to the first one in the sense that it has a lot of the flaws I pointed out in the first review where things can feel a bit formulaic or not make a lot of sense. And it has all of the good stuff I told you about in that first review as well. Interesting characters, compelling, cool world building, even if it doesn't make a lot of sense, that sort of stuff. But I also just wanted to focus in, because I just finished this book, just finished listening to it about 20 seconds ago. And I just wanted to take a second to focus on this book. I just felt like it hit me emotionally. Is that the word? I felt a lot more engaged with this one, and I think perhaps that's because we had a bigger cast of characters. Our characters are all together. It might be because the stakes are rising, whatever. But for whatever reason, even though this book, I couldn't point out to you why it's so dissimilar in my mind from the first two, but I just felt so much more emotionally connected and invested in this book. And perhaps I'm failing a little bit as a book reviewer because I can't tell you exactly why. But yeah, this book just really grabbed me. I felt really compelled. The characters were interesting and went for interesting stuff. And even the things which I would have called formulaic, perhaps in the previous reviews, even though they technically are still formulaic, I guess maybe they were just written better or something. But I felt that they really dragged me in. So spoilers, by the way. There's scenes where the characters go off on their own, which felt quite sort of, they just felt much more engaging than perhaps they have in the past in these previous books. But I also think that the reason I might be just so up on this book at the moment is because the end of this book, I think, is perhaps my favourite part of Percy Jackson, a Percy Jackson book ever. So this book ends, spoilers, where Annabeth has followed Mark of Athena and is finding the Parthenon, the statue in the Parthenos or something, I can't remember what it's called, but that statue, right? And we just have this really interesting bit where she's that's one part of the end, and then the other part of the end is Leo, Frank, and Hazel are together, and they get trapped by Jer in this weird cave sort of area, and then Percy, Jason, and Piper are all together as well, and all three of these things really work. I found the Percy and Jason and Piper thing where they're dealing with the water spirits and the nymphs thing really interesting, and I thought that was really cool, and him fighting the two giants, and I thought that what Leo and Frank and stuff was up to as well, I thought that was really cool. And then the sort of the pinnacle on top of this really cool final set piece, I guess, of this book is Annabeth trying to deal with Arachne and trying to convince her to trap herself and stuff. And so I thought that was all really cool and really interesting. But what really got me is how this book ends, where spoilers, Percy and Annabeth fall into Tartarus, and it's very out of nowhere. I remember reading, because I've reread this, so I kind of vaguely remember this was going to happen, but it even still hit me kind of hard, even though I knew it was going to happen. But in the first time I read this book, I remember I was maybe 12 or 13. I was like, what? This can happen? Main characters can just fall into the pit of Hades, And it's just a really strong ending that really brings you back into the story. Sort of in the same way, if you're reading A Song of Ice and Fire and you're like, damn, also spoilers for A Song of Ice and Fire now, I guess. We're like, damn, Rob Stark's been really autistic. I wonder if he's going to get punished for his actions. And then boom, Red Wedding and everyone dies, right? It's just that sort of thing where it's finally it feels like there's some stakes and stuff. And I just thought it was really, really cool. I think it was quite obviously inspired by the Gandalf scene in The Lord of the Rings, where, Gandalf is falling down, he holds on, he has to say some final words to the other characters and then falls. Very, very similar to that, where Percy's holding onto the ledge, he says some final words and then falls, and it's a little bit, arguably a bit cliched, the character holding on a ledge sort of thing. But you know what, I don't really care. I thought it was really, really good, and I just felt a lot more compelled. So I'm gonna, I might do finish this review here with a little bit of a cop-out, which is to say, I can't tell you why this book is good necessarily, but it really is, and I would strongly recommend that even if you weren't loving the first two books in this series, that you continue and sort of push through to this one. And if I remember correctly, the best book in the series is actually the next one coming up, The House of Hades. So perhaps we'll touch base on that one when I finish reading it. But if I remember correctly, that is the best one in the whole series. So exciting stuff. I really hope you enjoyed this review, even if it was perhaps a little bit of a cop out in terms of me being I don't know why it's good, but it's good. So yeah, I hope that didn't put you off too much, and I hope that you pick up these books and give them a read. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.